really, because it's they're the vulnerable ones, aren't they? Do you work in a hospital as well? You do,
Support worker, yeah.
and you must see all sorts of crazy stuff at the moment.
Do you know what? It's like we're not even in it anymore. Like I do the yesterday I was like doing. We've got a weekly COVID swab. So Mondays is our COVID swab. So I take them on.
Katie, can I just stop you? Chris is at it again. He's asking questions before the podcast. I think this is perfect for the podcast. So,
okay,
like,
oh, shut up.
No, it's not your fault. It's Chris, because he loves to have a fucking chat every fucking week. You can ask Chris. You can. I know you know Katie. Like, so why don't you introduce her this week?
No, I think you keep the format.
Okay.
Keep the format.
Okay. All right. I won't.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. We're gonna do the song at the end, Katie, because I think that it finishes it nice. So towards the end, so it'll be about 35-40 minute mark. I'll ask you, where's the best place to get it, to stream it, basically self-plug as much as you can at that point, and then introduce the track, and then it'll play.
We're playing Wild West, aren't we?
Yeah, but it'll be after. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It'll be after.
We'll have a little chat about Wild West before you play it, if we can, Sam.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll say, and your new single, blah blah blah, and then I'll say, do you want to? Let's hear it. Why don't we hear it? Then that's when you can talk about where you can stream it and follow it on social media and all that. If that's okay with you. Real.
Yeah. We'll go with, also, if you see, because the cameras won't be like this, if you know what I mean, it'll be just you, just me, when it goes live, it goes, so when you're talking, split between us, yeah, so this is just so we can all see each other, so if you see me or Sam, like, wave, no one will see it, just, we might want to ask you something, but we haven't been doing that, so don't worry. For a while.
Professionals now.
So this is how professional I am. Like, my phone is actually on my ironing board.
Mine's on a pile of tiles.
I've got placemats.
It's what you don't see. This is great because I had to go on Channel 4 like this in lockdown and have a chat on the news, right? And they were like, this is one of the most amazing backgrounds we've ever seen. You don't want to see that side. Oh, no. It's grim. Grim.
Marshall stack.
Also, as well, sorry, something's just popped into my brain. Is your phone on airplane mode, or like it won't go into? If someone rings you, it won't go off.
Let me do that.
Yes, please. Can I have a juice? Thank you. Because we've got no pressure because it's not going live this evening, so
yeah.
And there's no intro, so we're literally just straight in. Two, 1, 2, 2. Yeah.
Do that. I just realised that was the most stupid thing. Airplane mode will obviously make me lose my connection.
Oh yeah. Is there not like an option just for you to be on your Wi-Fi?
You mean without my data? Yeah, but
That might work.
I don't know if I can like. I don't think anyone's gonna ring me, but
if they do, don't worry because we're not live. But I just thought it might have been worth.
I was like, why has that done that? And I was like, oh yeah, I clicked airplane.
You're like me.
Oh, what am I doing?
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Why is your screen? Jumping.
Have I gone off?
No, you're still here. You just need to put it landscape up on your ironing board?
I've like disappeared on like all your faces.
For me.
Just, I don't know.
Please.
Has it gone weird?
Oh wait, is that?
Here we go. I've got you now.
Has it gone weird?
Yeah.
Should
go
we
on.
restart the call?
Go on, I'll start it.
You
I'll
start it, Sam.
I'm ringing it in now. Should be sound.
We're all in! Isn't it horrible technology?
Your camera isn't on, Chris.
Your Skype.
Fine.
Yep.
Is that better?
There you go.
I think we're all ready.
Just goes dead weird. Okay, let's go for it. So already recording. Go on the logo. Get rid of that. I'm seeing your name right, Katie O'Malley. Cool. Okay, everyone ready, yeah? I'm just going to have one little sip before we start. Okay. My volume okay, Chris? Okay. 2212. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sea Live podcast. My name is Sam, and as always, I've got my trusted friend and podcast sidekick. And your camera's gone off for some reason, so we can do this all again. What's my luck?
It was a good intro.
It was a very good. It was very, very up tempo, wasn't it?
It was. Do that again.
I'm doing it again. Here we go. In character. Different faces, different places. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sea Live podcast. My name is Sam, and as always, I've got my trusted friend and podcast sidekick, Mr. Christopher Barnes. Hey!
Yay! How are
I'm
you,
good,
mate?
thank you. I'm good. Just, well, guess what? I start a new job this week.
Nice.
I've just had my first. Well,
Are you
today's
gonna
the first day.
tell everyone what you're doing? Are you going to tell everyone what you're doing? Dinner lady, is it?
Well, no. It's a ambassador role at Liverpool Media, LMA, where I went to university, and it's sort of like a student service job. So I'm looking forward to it. I've done it in a smaller capacity when I used to go around the high schools, telling them about my experience at LMA. But it's going to be a nice little part-time, full-time job. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
And it's been a good week. We actually met for the first time since March.
I've missed you, buddy. I've missed you, pal.
It was like a moment from a movie, wasn't it? I seen you at the top of the stairs, and you came down, and you give me a big
A big hug, just a hug, nothing else. Look, I need to quickly move on. We did. Once we'd hugged, we were socially distanced, and we had a really good meet. We had a really fun day, didn't we? We actually went down to the Quirky Quarter up on Duke Street. It was great. It was mad, wasn't it, mate?
We were on the ceiling. We were in the toilet. We were doing the weather.
In the mirrors.
We got lost in the mirrors. So if you haven't been to Quirky Quarter, you need to go. It is brilliant.
Absolutely. I think with everyone going back to work now, I think it's ideal that people, a little icebreaker for people going back to the office. Get down there because it's great and really fun for
Yeah.
not just for people in the office. I mean, for everyone, families, friends. Yeah, do go down.
There was moments when we you do like little puzzles and stuff, and there's moments we were just like, what is this on about? The button one with the clues.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. What is going on?
And it's great. It's a big open space. Like, you're not necessarily having to, socially distance from everyone. You know, it's quite a big space, so you're not worried in that sense. But there are people with masks. You have to wear masks. Obviously, you can take off your masks for the photo opportunities, but the people that are there are encouraging you to keep them on and helping you with all these different puzzles. And it's a real good experience. I loved it. I obviously seeing you as well, mate.
Well, that was the best bit, wasn't it?
It was. But in the meantime, please do follow us on our social media. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Facebook, we are at CLive. On Twitter, we are at CLiveEnterTo1. And on Instagram, we are at CLive. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit behind with everything that's been going on the last couple of weeks with the emails coming through and lots of Zoom meetings and person meetings, so I do apologise for not being up to date with the videos from the past podcasts, including the YouTube channel as well. So please do, I need to add that to the list, Chris, that we're also on YouTube as well. So all of our past podcasts are going to be uploaded to YouTube as well, so you can see them in their full capacity. But we've got a fantastic guest. She is a singer-songwriter, and her name is Katie O'Malley. How are you doing, Katie?
Hey!
She's there. She's on. She's there. I thought she was frozen for a second then, but you are there.
Yeah.
How are you doing? First of all, I think the first place we always start off with, and not to necessarily get it out the way, but is everyone safe, and how are you doing, obviously, during these mad times?
Yeah, all my family's safe. I live here in my flat. He's actually just sat over there, my boyfriend, and we're both safe and well.
Nice. And is it difficult where you are to sort of get on with your daily life? Is it everything all right?
Not my daily life. Like, my daily life, it hasn't really changed. It's been easy. I mean, it's just putting a mask on when you go in a shop, isn't it? Really. And I mean, takes time to get used to. You're going out, it's like your phone, your keys, your mask now, but rather. So I literally did that today. I went to the post office and I got halfway to the post office and I was like, oh my God, I don't have my mask. I had to go back and get it. But
at least I went to the post office today and there was people with no masks on, but these people were like sort of a lot older, and you think, put one on, please.
Yeah. It's you have your own opinion on what it is, but it's real. So do us all a favour, put on a bloody mask, please, everyone. I think it'll be helpful if you all just complied. Yeah. I mean, we've got a little bit political there, but it doesn't matter. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Right. Well, Katie, in your job, you're obviously a singer-songwriter, but we all are musicians, and we all know we have to have other jobs as well to survive in this world at the moment. And you work in a medical field.
Yeah, I'm a support worker. I wouldn't say
That's all right.
I'm not really medical.
Yeah, you're in that zone where you're in with people who obviously need certain help, and you put it's a lot of pressure at the moment in someone who's working in certain industries and certain environments. And I've seen, obviously, in over the last few weeks, you're fully masked up and you're walking around. So it must be a lot of pressure. What's it like day to day in that job now?
Now it's okay, but at the time, it was really intense. It was because no one had experienced it before, and every day you came on your next shift, they were telling you something different. It was like at first nobody was wearing masks, and then they made it compulsory for us to wear masks, and then it was probably over a month, and then they were like, oh, now you have to wear like goggles and a visor. But it's changing all the time, and you sweat so much. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is when you put the visor on. It's like you can't hear as well. I don't know what that's just me being stupid, but I don't know what it feels like. I don't know. You're always just a sweaty mess in work, and
Sounds like me and Sam anyway.
Speak for yourself.
I was sweating though the other day when we were trying to work those puzzles out.
Yeah,
Hard,
you should get down there. It's a nice day out. It is
Good.
a really nice day out.
So work,
go on, Chris.
Yeah, work's getting a little bit easier though. Is that what you're finding?
yeah, I'm at work. It's everything's just become dead normal. We do the COVID swabs weekly, and there's no one on my ward anymore that's got COVID, and we've gone from having like 10 COVID wards to down to 2, and it's not actually, people that have got it aren't extremely ill from it, so it's not as intense, nowhere near as like it was in April. So it's calming down.
And when you, obviously you were you semi-lockdown? You weren't fully locked. You were obviously going to work. Whereas
this was what it was, because everybody like online was like, oh my god, I can't go out, but obviously I could still went to my job, so apart from eating, my normal like routine hadn't really changed, so I didn't experience it in completely the same way as everybody else. I was still doing my normal day job. But yeah, it was the music that I couldn't do, and obviously you couldn't see friends, you couldn't, so most of it, yeah, I experienced it the same, but I was still getting to go to work, which broke it up, where I'm sure it would have been really intense if I was just like completely sat inside my house like a lot of people were. And I don't have a garden, I live in a flat, so, and it was so sunny this spring, weren't it? And that really got to me, that it was sunny all the time, and all I could do was open the window and stick my hand down.
Did it inspire you to write music in it?
You know what? I did a bit of writing, nowhere near as much as what I wanted to. It was all a bit overwhelming, like all the time. I got really into like just wanting to know everything about the news and what was going on, and because like my work was so like orientated around it, I got like obsessive about it. So I didn't get the time to like, I don't know, relax. And I feel like, I don't know, you have to be in like a certain kind of zone when you write, and it just all felt a bit too intense to write as much as what I would have liked to in the amount of time that I had.
So yeah, I know, because different people who've come on over the last few weeks, they've kind of used the time to, because we were totally locked down as certain musicians that we've had on, and they said I just gave me an opportunity to write. And sometimes I feel like if you force write, it's not the same. It's got to just come out of you, if you know what I mean. You just got to feel, as you say, feel in those right.
Like I'm sure you felt it as well. Like, oh, I've got all this time, I need to write now. I need to write, and then it's just like anxiety gets the better of you. Like you want to write, but you can't write, and you just I mean, I did do a bit. I tried to do more, trying to do more online stuff, and like collaborating with people, which is always good, because if you're doing it with someone else, that gives you the kick up the butt then to do it, because else is on you. So
that works. So when you write a song, let's go right back. When did you start working out that you could write songs?
I don't actually know. I kind of fell into music. It wasn't like I wasn't one of these that'd been like playing guitar from really little and singing, and that was like always what I wanted to do. I was always into performing. Did dance from being really little, and I always wanted to do something performance wise, but singing, I was like, I couldn't sing, and I didn't think. Well, I actually genuinely couldn't sing until I taught myself. I auditioned for the High School Musical, and I desperately wanted the main part. It was Little Shop of Horrors that I was going for, and I loved dancing and I loved acting, and I wanted this part, and I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, and you've got to sing as well. And I sing for the audition, and I was the most terrified. You've got all your high school mates were there as well, because everyone was auditioning for it, and it was like, and the teachers were there, and it was really intense. And I sang, and I just thought I'd like screwed it up really badly. And then they turned around and gave me the part of Audrey, so I was like super happy, thinking, yeah, I've got this part. And then the realization hit that then I had to sing again in front of like the whole school. So it's been a long journey from then. But I liked poetry, and I was always writing poetry, and then eventually they became songs. I was always into writing. I was good at English and writing stories, so I think that has helped me a lot.
I tell you, I don't even know if Sam knows this. Do you know my poetry past?
Oh yes, I do. I've been told this story. This is a good one. Go
well,
on,
did you want me to actually tell you?
Tell us.
Well, when I do was play guitar, so I didn't do any work at all, and for homework we had to write a poem, and obviously I wasn't going to do that. So I went to the library and I found what I thought was someone who was obviously had passed, and copied their poem into my book and handed it in as my poem. And then behind my back, the teacher entered it for BBC Young Poet of the Year, and I won. So I won a big prize, and then I had to go down to London, read it live on Radio 4 or something. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then, so I was this little Scouser reading it, and all these posh kids and all that, and I was there just didn't blend in at all. And then it got a bit serious with like things weird. And then they tried to sue me. The BBC threatened to sue me, yeah.
Bear in mind, how old were you, Chris? Weren't you about like 14 or something?
13, 14.
Like,
so when you write song, it was a good lesson in life to not cheat on poetry. And if you're gonna play a song or write anything, make sure it's your own, or you'll get done.
It sounds something like out of a TV program that you'd watch as like a moral of the story, you know.
Oh, it was horrendous. I won a load of money. I had to give it back, but I'd obviously spent it. So I had to go to my dad. Obviously they were all involved because I had to tell them, and they were like, "Yeah, just go with it." But the worst was I'd read my poem on the radio in Broadcasting House in London, and someone, obviously it wasn't as old as I thought the poem was, and loads of people recognised it, phoned up, complained, they scrapped, and they were like, the 30,000 copies of the poetry book with yours in has now been shelved and all this. It was just like...
I can't believe that your teacher didn't know though. So
I can't believe me teaching home of some goodness, because I was rubbish in school. So there you go. If you're gonna write a poem or a story, make sure it's your own. That's a lesson to you, Sam. Don't be copying off any of my songs.
To be honest, I would never do that anyway. Never do that. I'm a good boy. But you write your own stuff, obviously, Katie. You've just checked now, over 6,000 monthly views on Spotify, so that's a figure to be proud of. And you've got a couple of singles and EPs that you've released as well. I'm going to put you on the spot. What is your favourite song that you've released?
That I've released, probably Yoshino, which wasn't Wild West that I've just released. The one before. I don't know. There's something like, I feel like it's got this kind of cinematic kind of quality about it, and I was really. So some songs you write and you think, they're all right, and there's some songs especially when on it so much, but when the whole band like came around it, I was like, oh, I'm really proud of this. Like, sounds pretty good.
Yeah, because I remember when you released it and you were pushing out there, and I was like, what is it? And was it a mountain?
It's a mountain in Japan, yeah.
I was like, what is what is? Obviously, it's obviously that you can see it's where its heritage is, but I was like, what is it? And then you're saying it's a mountain, yeah. But you can I found I knew that I could hear what it was about, because it's atmosphere, isn't it? It starts very sort of slow, and then you bring in the instrument, if you know what I mean. It builds as the song goes. It's really nice. I think it's really nice. But do you think your songwriting's changed since you released that?
I think it's changing all the time as well. Like I started out very folky and singing these very like light songs, and I'd always come from a background like when I first started gigging, and what I've always listened to was a lot of soul and Motown music. That's what my dad brought me up on. And when I first started out gigging, I was gigging in bands, singing all these like big soul songs, and I had this big voice. But then as I got older, I started listening to more like Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Laura Marling, and I wanted to write like that. And it's quite a lot of it was like more like airy fairy, like dreamy kind of lyrics. So to write like that and then be belting just didn't seem to really fit. So I like had to tone it down a bit when I was singing. And then when I finally started getting the band around me, I was like, yeah, I've got more instruments I can use now. I can like really go for it a bit more and belt out. And then I could start writing these bigger songs, or what I felt like. It's not that I couldn't have done before, but I don't know. It just felt like it gave me a bit of an opportunity to write these bigger songs than what I wasn't doing before.
So did you self-teach, or did you?
No, I did have lessons, my guitar teacher was a brilliant teacher, but he was a jazz musician, and he went very fast for me, and I was like mind blown. Yeah, I ended up just kind of like going off and doing it myself, because it wasn't really the kind of stuff when you're 17 that you want to be playing. Like, so he'd be like, yeah, here's this like, this jazz song, and I'm like, so yeah, I just ended up like just doing it, because everything I played, he was like, no, don't play it like that. You've got to make it 7th or a 9th. And I was like, doesn't sound like a song anymore.
As soon as you get in the jazz zone, that's what I always say. Stay away from the 9th. I think, but there's some really lovely. We'll talk about your latest single later on, but you use some really lovely, intricate little chords on your music.
I am not a guitarist. Like I will fully admit that I am not a guitarist. I get by on guitar. It's purely just like backing for me, really. But I try.
I think you pick. Do you come up with the little melodies and the tunes? Do you come up with the original idea?
Yeah. So I sit down with just my acoustic. Come up with all like the melodies, and then I bring it to the band, and then just let them make it a lot better and flourish and embellish it.
Do you ever write one and go, I'll write this, and then take it to the band and go, right, change that, and then, or do you think, no, that's it, that's my idea? Is it, how does that work?
What do you mean? Like they come up with something and I don't like it? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you ever go with a song and then you go, I love it, and then the band go, oh no, well try this, and it changes it? Do you get on well with the band in that respect? Do they throw ideas around?
I'm very dominant when it comes to it. I'll just be like,
that's what I was looking for. That's
if they play something and I don't like it, I just go, no, I don't like it. I just tell them, I just say, no, it's not right. Like there was this one bit actually on my songs recently, not put it out yet, but I played this little like tiny little lead part. I don't really play lead at all, but I'd done this little part, and then when I took it to the guitarist, he like wanted to make it more of what it was and was like adding extra notes in, and I was like, no, I don't like that. Stop doing that. And then we'd gone to the studio and doing a little demo, and he was trying to like harmonize it, and it sounded very like Thin Lizzy or something. And I was like, no, it's a bit too classic rock. I'm gonna have to tone it back down. Like, so yeah, I'll just say, because if not, you just end up.
I think you've got to be, haven't you? You've got to be dominant, especially it's your music. You have that image in your brain of how it sounds and how you want it. And if you don't, you get trampled on. So I think you have to be in those situations. I mean, there's been times when me and Chris have been in rehearsals, and there's certain songs that have came up, and I've just gone, no, I'm not singing that.
Well, like lyrics wise.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like, there's compromise. Obviously, there's compromise. You say to the guys, come on, if we can do this song, then we can do that song. But there's some screeches up there, Chris, isn't there? There's some real high ones.
There's a few high ones for you there, and especially when you come into the second set and you've just belted out 45 minutes of pure bangers, and then we're expecting you to sing some kind of crazy songs. But I think that's the importance of finding your set and finding the right balance. And I suppose in a band, that's the most important thing. When you first got the band together, was it like, whoa, this is like completely mental?
No, because it was a really gradual thing. Like, I didn't like just fully end up like I got every part. It was it started out. It's my sister's boyfriend Toby, so he's kind of stuck in the band because of that reason. So he plays keys, but I forced him on the cajon. He does play drums as well, so I forced him on the cajon to come around with me while I played acoustically for a little while, and then I had another friend that played bass, and he started coming around with us. But then Toby was like, I really want to play the keys because that's his main instrument. So he got on that, and then I was in another band, and I stole the drummer from that band. So but yeah, that was a few months of a process though, and then we went round as a 4-piece for quite a while, and then we got Jack. That was the lead guitarist. The lineup has changed many times, but Jack was brilliant. I loved him, and he played on this EP just gone, the one before. He's a brilliant guitarist. But that was really a turning point because he's naturally quite a rocky player, so that really like made me want to like write, like I was saying, like write them bigger songs. So he was a big moment for it turning, really.
Right, okay. So with Bailey, his sound and his presence. Yeah. I think all musicians have that, and if you blend it all together, it works really well. I think it's important. It's like you, Sam, when you brought your vocals into the band, the whole thing changed.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Chris. This is the loving on Sam's voice. Thank you. And your bass playing? No, actually not your bass
playing. No. Yeah, well, I'm a guitarist thrown on the bass.
That is very true, actually. You are a guitarist by trade, and then you were thrown on the basis. But it's that old, not question, the saying, who wants to be with the bassist? It's true.
Or the poet.
Or the poet. Yeah, I think this is a key to. Well, I'm gonna interject there, Chris, to say we've got a website. We have, and it's a brilliant website. You can go on there. You can find out all the different acts and artists that we have to offer. But the main new thing now, can you see that, Chris? It says "See Live Podcast." And basically, the See Live Podcast will now link the website, should I say. When you click on that there, the See Live Podcast, it will link you to all of the podcasts that we've done. So going all the way back to number 1, which was just Chris and I. And we've got Paul McDonough, Richard Stern, Haley Ann, all the way. So you can go on there and you can see all, and hear, obviously as well, all the different podcasts that we've done. And not to say, Chris, that I've slaved over this, but I've slaved over this. So
Yeah.
I would love people to go on there and to just have a little mooch and see what it's all about, because we've got some fantastic acts on there, haven't we, mate?
We've got some brilliant acts, and we're always updating the things. And we've had a couple of nice meetings with a couple of venues. People are a little bit nervous about things, but they're all looking to put acts out and put entertainments on now. So things are slightly happening. And you had a gig at the weekend, which was good.
Yeah, in our little pre-meeting, I showed the jacket, didn't I? The little red varsity jacket to Katie and Chris.
That's Marty McFly.
Yeah, I'd probably say it is, isn't it? It's a bit like a Marty McFly, although not a gilet, more like a varsity jacket. But they're good. They're good. It was a really great socially distanced gig down at Blundell Street. Everyone was adhering to socially distanced guidelines. It was great down there, and everyone was smiling and putting the thumbs up. So that was a good sign for me. And great that I get to see Cam as well. It was a great friend of mine, obviously through the choir. And we've done this for a good couple of years now, and we keep getting asked back. So we'll keep doing it. If they ask us to come back, we'll keep doing it.
I was speaking to another artist the other day, and they were saying he's a bit nervous to get back on stage because he hasn't been on stage for about a year now. Obviously, it's coming up. How are your nerves going, Katie? Are you ready to get back on the stage?
I had a gig, bank holiday weekend was my last gig.
Okay.
And that was, I had done a gig before that actually. My first gig was like the 2nd of August, and I was terrified. It was so weird. It was like, I don't know, just the fact that people were there. It was really nerve-wracking, because it's when you're cause I'm doing like live streams over the. It wasn't one of these that was doing it all the time, but I'm doing one every few weeks, and it's still, the live stream thing's still weird, because like you finish a song and then you're like waiting for people to clap.
I know that feeling. And because the boy band, the show that we did the other day on Saturday, it is a very up-tempo show. You know, you're wanting to get them up on the dance floor, up on the feet, and we've rehearsed this script, you know, God knows how many hours, and we're saying, you know, like, well, this is the part. I mean, get up on the dance. I mean, sing this bit, and you have to literally stop yourself and go, this is the part usually, folks, where we would ask you to get up on the dance floor, you know, stuff like that, and saying like, show us your thumbs if you're enjoying yourself, you know, no cheering. So it's difficult. You've got to adhere to it. So
So even though you can't see them, like you could still be like, "Yay, sing along!"
Yeah. Obviously, it's different, but you obviously we want it to go back to normal, don't we? We want it to be sooner rather than later.
Compares to like actually being there with a live audience. That's why we all do it, isn't it? Because
it's the bug, isn't it? Bug to play certain songs. Do you do? Obviously, you do all your own original stuff. Do you do covers as well when you gig?
Oh yeah, because I do. Like some places, well, you know how it is. Some places like literally just want covers, or they'll like be open to you doing like a few originals. And then when I go out with the band, we kind of mix it up. So we'll do like it's kind of half and half. And I think it keeps people interested, and they're more like open to listening to your songs then. So we'll do like 10 to 12 of originals, and then all the other ones that we sing are around the same kind of genre of music. So it all like flows really nicely.
What particularly covers do you do in your set? Is there like a specific genre? Do you keep it close to sort of the stuff that you write, that you're putting out, or is there a specific artist that you know, like singing their songs?
It's just very 70s, so it's like Creedence Clearwater, Neil Young, the band, Allman Brothers, like keep it that like country rock, bluesy kind of vibe going. And it seems to flow quite nicely with the original stuff.
Style, isn't it? The country rock.
Yeah.
Well, you've even got of gold, haven't you?
I have, and that wasn't intentional. And then I was like, oh, that's cute, that's cool. Like maybe it was just in the back of my mind or something. Yeah, it's a tune. So.
No, and was that tune influenced by Neil Young?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It'd be nice to say it was, but it.
So take us through Wild West. Where does the idea come from? The song itself, writing it, the process. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I wrote it. It was a while ago now, but it seemed like there was a lot of like gang crime going on around Manchester. There was a lot of stabbings that were happening like all the time, and it felt like every time you turned on the telly, it was like, oh, someone else had been stabbed in London or in Manchester. And I came home one night and there was blood in front of my flat door, and someone had been stabbed in the Arndale, this young lad, and he'd run over. I literally like face the Arndale where I live, and he'd run across the road and he'd left like this blood trail all down the street. So I always felt like really safe in Manchester. Like I've grown up like north of Manchester. I live in Manchester now, and when some people come to like where you live and they're like, it's a bit rough around here, and you're like, do you think it? And I never got that, but then like when that happened, I was a bit like, yeah, I guess it is like a bit sketchy at the minute anyway. And I've been watching a lot of like Top Boy on Netflix and like Empower and all these like gangster like crime things, and I just overloaded myself with it. And Wild West came out, and yeah, it was all more about from the perspective of someone that had got into gang crime, and yeah, was trying to kind of prove themselves in that world.
It's a vocals track, though, isn't it? It is. It for me, because we've got you on the Spotify, and we obviously chat now and again with new stuff coming out, but it's the biggest vocal track I think I've ever heard from you.
Yeah, it's the biggest one that I've recorded. Yeah, definitely. And I was gonna record. Well, I did. On the next single that I'm gonna release, I've actually recorded it last year, and that's another like big vocal one. And I felt like I shouldn't put it out then because everything had been like so like airy fairy that I was like, this is such like a big jump from that maybe. But and then now I think about it and I was like, well, who cares? Like, exactly. Just do what you want to do. And I was probably overthinking it, but at the time it just felt like it was like two worlds apart. And even though I'd been going out doing that live, if you look at my online stuff, you couldn't really see. So I've tried to like do it so you see like the progress of like the layering of it getting like a little bit like
with the instruments, and obviously the massive chorus, which is just pure vocal, isn't it? It's brilliant. But there's so many. Is there a banjo in there?
No, there isn't. We've got like, I think at the pinnacle there's like 7 guitars going on though.
Whoa.
That's a lot of double tracking though as well, not just like but yeah, so when we play it live, it feels like it's a really big song, and we didn't record it to click, and I'm so glad that we didn't, because I had with other ones in the past, and they just, I'm sure sometimes they just lose energy, don't they? They just like kills the momentum. And when we play this live, I was like, it just like seems to naturally like grow, even though it's kind of a middle road like tempo kind of song. It feels like it's got a lot of power behind it.
Yeah,
that's why I really wanted to like go for it as well. I was like channeling Janis Joplin.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, little Audrey. Please. Please.
We've seen more moments. But even the videos, Ace, as well. We will put a link for the music video as well, because that's something you're starting to do a bit more now, isn't it? Put a little video with your tracks as well.
If I could film a video for every single song, I would do. But I'm actually really lucky that Toby that plays keys, my sister's boyfriend, he's really got into videography, and he's got really good really fast. He's just like really researched it, and he's super mint at it now. So yeah, I've used that to my advantage.
Oh, why not?
If it's there, use it.
Yeah.
But I know there's a certain location you're looking for the next one, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes in with your music. God, I won't give anything away, but it'll be nice, because it'll be a nice scene if you get the right one. But hopefully it fits the music well. But the Wild West video, everyone should go and see it as well.
Well, we're going to show it. We're going to show it right here, right now. We might as well. Katie, where's the best place for people to see it other than here on the C Live podcast? You can find it on Spotify, I'm assuming on YouTube, and on... you tell the people about social media.
You're right. Yeah, you can stream it on Spotify, or you can watch the music video on YouTube, or stream it on Apple Music, iTunes. I don't know what everyone uses these days. Deezer. But it's also, I put out the EP that's on Bandcamp as well, and that's got Wild West single on it, with also a few others, and there's like a special bonus track that you can only hear if you buy the CD, and it's only $5.
We want to hear this track.
Listen, you've got to support local artists. This is what it's all about. Is there a vinyl? Is there a vinyl?
No. I feel like you need an album to do a vinyl. Like, you need more songs for it to be worth it.
We'll get there. But yeah, it's a very good video, so everyone should enjoy it.
I think, why not just show it now? Yeah, should we show it now? I think we'll show it now. Let's do it. Actually, let me do this right. I know we've been going for a very long time, but I'll say it properly now, because I feel like this should be a nice point where I say, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Katie O'Malley's Wild West. Here you go. Okay, so that'll have played. Let's do a round of applause in 3. Hey, well done. That's fantastic.
Good.
Katie O'Malley, the little country girl.
It's Wild West.
The Wild West Saloon, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And like we said, you can follow Katie on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll leave all the links down below. Have you got anything specific coming up? Obviously, I know we're in uncharted waters with everything that's going on, but have you got anything coming up that you want to tell the people about?
Yeah, I am doing a Facebook live stream tomorrow, which is Thursday, on the Music Crowns page. If you know it, it's a blog, and they obviously have Facebook. But yeah, I'm going to be live on their Facebook page from 8 p.m. and it's hosted by Cottonopolis Music, and I'm really nervous about it. But
don't be nervous.
If you can do this, you can do anything.
Fantastic. So, guys, that's been the C Live podcast. Make sure that you do follow us and follow Katie O'Malley on all of our social medias. I'll just remind you of ours. On Facebook, we are at C Live. On Twitter, we are C Live Enter 1. And on Instagram, we are at C Live UK. Chris, that's been another edition of the C Live podcast. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And I'll see you on Friday.
Yes, you will. Should we tell them? No, let's not.
No, it's a locationed podcast. That's all we're saying.
It's a location. It's especially socially distanced.
Oh yeah,
podcast.
Right. With masks.
Socially distanced. And thank you again to Katie O'Malley, our guest for this evening. Thank you so much.
For having me on.
My pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you again, everyone. Make sure that you like all of our socials. Again, I'm going to plug it again. Make sure you go on the website. Make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of our socials. And we will be back for another edition of the Sea Live podcast next week, 7:30 every Wednesday night. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye now.